right, so here's the completed GX rooftop tire mount. Seems to work out really good. I'm using this decking that's used in trailers, and it's really nice stuff. It's really light and it's really strong. I'll show you a piece in just a second. And as you can see, if you look up top, you can see I just used a piece of aluminum, and somewhere in the video it shows some other parts in there. But as you can see, I used 2-inch L bracket aluminum, 1/4 inch, and I made my own T-nuts. So there's 6 T-nuts that are behind here in this track. You can hold it, it's really freaking stout. Really interesting little angle. The reason I did it the way I did was so that it would be as low as possible. You can't see it from here, but there is a 1/4 inch airspace in there with the tire on there. I'm going to be monitoring it. Worst case scenario, if it did come down a little bit and got too close, I could just put a spacer in there. But if you continue watching, I'll start off how I built it. And of course I put this wind deflector on there. Anyway, check it out. All right, so starting this little project, first we gotta remove the stock crossbars. And to do that, we have to remove these plastic supports. Well, I already took them off, and I'll tell you what, they're brittle. A little piece cracked off of that one. And this one here, it done cracked in half. So, step number 1. Here's the idea. I'm going to use this piece of angle aluminum, and I'm going to make my own T-slots. And I'm going to slot this in, and then I'm going to lay some decking across that. Here's my crazy concept for making my own T-slots, because I don't have the patience to wait for them off Amazon. Alright, so now we got some angle on there. Just trying to get a feel for it. It only has 2 bolts on each side, which are my own little key slot holders holding it in. And like everything I do, it's a work in progress. I'm figuring it out as we go. That little bar there is just showing my clearance. One of the greater points of this whole thing is to get it as low as possible and to make it stronger than the factory, because the factory one's pretty lightweight. So, step next. So here we are, we got the angle with 2 bolts holding it in and 2 homemade T-nuts, and it works really good. Now transition over to the other side. I have all the holes drilled. I had to go with the contour because there's a slight curve to it, and I had to get the holes in the right spot, but I've had this one on and it seems to work really good. The next step is we're going to put a little angle on it so that we can put a slight wind damper. So this thing's coming along pretty good. These are the new side rails that are going to be attaching to the crossbars up here. Then I got, so these T-slots that went in there, right? I'm replacing those with my own little homemade version. It's a 3/4 inch bolt with a homemade tapped out aluminum T-slot. I probably could have bought them, but sizing it via the internet is kind of tough, and it's just easy just to make them. Tapping aluminum is ridiculous. Next, I'm going to be welding up a little piece of aluminum onto here, and this is going to be part of the deflector. I'm just welding these little tabs on, and then I'm going to tap those, and this is going to be for my deflector. But speaking of welding, really no part of this process needs to be welded. I'm just welding this because I can. So don't let this turn you off. There's absolutely a way to screw this thing in without welding it. This is the decking I'm using. It's actually came from a trailer shop, and I got these pretty much on the cheap because they were cut-offs. They cut this lip off, and so I paid nothing for them. But this stuff can be bought for, I believe it was a 24-foot stick, was around 130 bucks. So do the math. It takes 7 of these to make this rack I'm making. So I know I kind of said under $100. I'm doing it for under $100. But to build this thing, to buy all new material, would be probably a little over 150 bucks, somewhere around there. All right. Next dry fit. All the bolts in place. I think it's looking pretty good. Very pleased. This thing has come out a little beyond my expectations, and for the cost of what I have into it, I mean, I literally have 25, 40, about 50 bucks into this thing. That's probably on the heavy side, except for the fact that I had to buy a $100 blade. Well, first view of it with the tire up top, and I am freaking digging it. I think it works really good. So what I got going on here, besides a mess, is for my local nut and supply shop. This is a piece of scrap I had laying around. This is one of the panels. So basically, this is going to go up underneath here. Kind of act as washer. And that's going to hold that like that. And then this is going to hook the tire, and I'm going to have a plate up top that's going to hold the tire in place. If that explains it. So I just had to shoot one last little segment because I know I forgot to videotape this last night. But as you can see, this little wind deflector I added. And what I did was I just drilled those out and then tapped them. Tapping this aluminum works so good. So anyway, I hope you got something out of this. Hope you liked it. If you do, please hit the old subscribe button. I would much appreciate it. Maybe even a like, maybe even a share. Beautiful day. Thanks for watching.